This week, the autumn rains have arrived and it has left me feeling a little reflective. I have some thoughts on AI. I started this channel just over a year ago as a way to reconnect with my artistic self in a way that my main channel doesn't. Thank you. And over the past year, I've actually been able to do some incredible things with this channel, despite its moderate size, shall we say. Today, me and Biscuits, yes, you are on a hike, because I kind of want to share some personal ideas about where this channel is going to go and how I want to see it grow in the future. I know, baby, you're excited. Ooh, tight, tight, tight. We've got a lot of junk in the back of this car, haven't we, Biscuit Boy? You might recognise where we are. This is the road that I drove down in solo girly trip to the UK in my road car. Was that what it was called? No, something. What was it called? Solo girly wig. So we were going to do a slightly different hike today, but I can't find where it is on the maps. I think I need to do a little bit more research into it because unfortunately, where I am in Spain, it is a little bit like, just drive straight up this cliff. That's a functional road. Don't you worry about that, said Google Maps, when clearly I should be worrying about that because that is a vertical cliff face. Thank you. So I've come a different way. Google Maps has taken me a different way, and if you can see out of any of the windows, I'm not sure you can from that angle, I'm currently driving through a very rocky forest. Luckily my car can cope with it, but it still gives me the nervousness because in the UK, a road like this would be like, oh no, no, private lands, no. Oh, squeaky bum time. Okay. Alright, okay. That was good. We are back on an old faithful hike that I have done a few times and has been on this channel featured a handful of times. You can see the child. The lighting today is kind of atmospheric, I would say. There's so many shadows around, and I think I might be able to capture some pretty things, even though I've been here a handful of times. Did you have a little sprinkles? Is that what you were doing? Biscuit. I originally started this channel just over a year ago now in, well, near Brighton in the UK. This was before I moved to Spain. So I kind of wanted an outlet to de-stress myself as a way of making fun content without it necessarily being for my main channel. Now, originally, this channel was going to involve a lot of AI, and it actually had a handful of AI videos, and they did moderately successfully, I would say, for something that was brand new channel. Hello, baby. Unfortunately, AI keeps leaving a really bad taste in my mouth. I'm on the fence about AI as an assistant rather than generative AI as something to replace people. So I am of the opinion that AI should be used for large data sets, large pieces of information, perhaps spotting trends, perhaps organization, rather than anything creative, if I'm honest. Within photography, I've used AI in several different ways. Oh, if you're interested, today I'm shooting aperture priority on the Sony a7C II with kit lens because I think this is going to be the one for my big adventure I have coming up soon. So as a YouTuber, AI is a very valuable tool, but I think it has its ethical limits. Obviously, the large language models were used unethically to gather data to understand how to even function as AI, which is a huge problem because those people should be compensated or given the option to have things included or excluded from AI scraping, if you like. I have produced multiple videos here on this channel about the use of AI as a digital assistant to bounce ideas off of. And it's tough because I actually think something like that is kind of what originally I had the idea that AI would be, almost functioning as a little mini assistant to help finalize your ideas down, rather than something that will just give you, did you have a little slip? Did you have a little slip, Biscuit? Rather than something that would just do all your thinking for you. That's not what I want AI to do. I don't want AI to be creative for me. I want it to bounce ideas off of so that I can finalize what my ideas are without necessarily speaking to other people. And that sounds a little bit offensive, but unfortunately, plagiarism can come into it when you're trying to be creative and you bounce ideas off of people, especially if they're in the same industry as you. It's kind of hard sometimes to not be impacted by those people. And some might say that that's kind of the point, to become the people that you hold dear and close to your heart. You hold their opinions in high value. I apologize that I am sweating and panting. My arm is going down and down and down because this is, you're on top of my camera. I should have stopped really to do this as a presentation. So I originally started this channel as an exploration as AI, as an assistant to me in my creative process as a photographer. And this channel has quickly evolved into almost documentary photography and travel photography, which is an aspect of photography I didn't think that I was going to enjoy as much as I do. Technically, it's a bit of everything. Portraiture, event photography, documentary photography, landscape, really pitching together a vibe that makes you want to experience the story that I'm telling you about the places that we go and the people that we meet and the stuff that we see. Power usage and carbon footprint is becoming a consideration to me now that I'm doing more travel content, because I wish for my experiences to not be negatively impactful on the places that I go and the people that I meet. Now, the biggest carbon footprint you can produce as a human is actually having a child, and I will never have children in my life. So I think I'm doing all right on that front. When it comes to AI use and energy output, one ChatGPT search is approximately equivalent to 2.5 Google searches. And when I am searching for something on Google, now especially, because it used to be a lot better, let's be honest. Hi, baby boy. Is that a little biscuit? Yeah, it is. I never find myself Googling something just once in this day and age. It'll be one Google to find out if I'm even in the ballpark of the question that I want to ask, regardless about anything. I'm also a video gamer, so if I ask for tips on where I'm stuck in a video game, I ask it once and it goes, oh, do you know what? Gemini says this thing from 1927. No, that's incorrect. Then I find I have to Google it again and again and again and again and again until I'm finally at something that I want to find the answer to. And quite often it in fact includes adding, ooh, a dragonfly, adding Reddit to the end of my Google search because someone, a mantis. Oh my goodness, everybody look. Look at this mantis. My goodness me, a baby. Come on, Biscuit, you're usually way more excitable than this. Yay, Biscuit! Are you hot? It's not as hot today as we were last time. It's actually quite cool, to be honest. Nice autumnal changes. Should we have some water in a second? We'll find a little spot to have a little bit of water. Well, you don't get to see many of those every day, do you? Okay, where was I? Googling multiple times to find an answer is unfortunately part of reality right now. So I think when it comes to producing answers that are worthwhile, I have found AI use, specifically ChatGPT, Claude, even a more ethical AI such as Ecosia, which plants a tree for every search that you do, but they're working towards a net carbon neutral output for AI, which makes sense. Is that another dog up there? Probably. I should probably keep an eye on that. So sometimes I find the idea that you can Google something and it come off worse than using AI now is sad. I think one of the reasons why I am in the mood to make this video now is because we've just had some really intense weather here in Spain. And any time the weather changes to like grey days, chill days, days where the nights draw in, I find it brings out something in me that means I have to do some self-reflection. Essentially, I think I want to change the direction of this channel ever so slightly. I don't want to find myself leaning on these crutches, and I feel like AI can be kind of a crutch now. Yes, okay, it can be useful, as I've said, to use as an assistant to finalize an idea or to perhaps look at something in a different way that you've not seen before. But ultimately, it's probably going to spit out the same results to a lot of people. And you end up at this weird self-cycle of relying on something that isn't you in order to be creative. And I think I'm going to pivot this channel to education. I want to teach people how to get the most out of their technology, out of their cameras, out of life in a way. I've actually just found this fallen over tree, and we had extreme wind and rain recently, and I'm pretty sure that that must be a catastrophe from that. Are you on an adventure as well, Biscuit? So we have this tree. The lighting isn't coming down in a way that's I would call beautiful, so I'm really going to have to try and work something out here. Maybe shooting from over there on that angle over might make this look more cinematic, more visually appealing, but it's covered in these little pine cones, so I'm wondering if I can get some sort of autumnal pine cone inspired moment that can commemorate the falling of this tree. Biscuit. Oh, an illuminated bottom, thank you. As a trans person, I do feel it is important for me to be able to experience the world, despite it feeling sometimes like I'm on my own against countries and companies and very loud people that want to deny that I exist in the way that I do. Sometimes I just need to take a deep breath and just live the life for me that I want to, and travel is a huge part of that. And I think that's why I want to pivot this channel so much towards education and travel, because that is a legacy that I can leave on the world, is this is what it was like to be me and see the world through my eyes. Come on then, you can do it. Good boy. I would very much appreciate feedback on the direction that this channel goes in, and I feel like I want to aim this at beginners, because I had a moment last year where I gifted my dad one of my old SLR cameras, one of my old digital SLRs. It was the Canon 700D, and this I got in around 2013, and it served me for a few years on YouTube before I upgraded. Perfect little camera, APS-C, kit lens, perfect. So the photographic knowledge of my father is zero, and I gave him basically a crash course into how to use this camera to its best abilities that you can. Sorry, the sun is right over there. I should probably move you over here, but I'm gonna be squinting like this. Come on, Biscuit, we're almost at our little spot. You can do it, baby. So I think I want to maybe approach people that are perhaps older than me in teaching them how that they can approach the art of photography, the art of slowing down and witnessing light create a moment that you can capture. So that could be portraiture for families, that could be videography, that could be how to make things look cinematic, how to even capture, how to even turn your camera on. I just feel like it's really beneficial. Education is still in my head like one of the best things you can do for people, especially when it comes to an area that you're knowledgeable about, you know? I feel like it's almost a responsibility in that sense. So I'd love some feedback on that, and perhaps where I should start. I feel like that's the hardest part, isn't it? Where to start. Once you've started, you kind of have an idea of where the road might take you. We're here, Biscuit. This is my favourite little rock to sit on. Are you ready for some water? And I might have my energy drink also. I know, you're eager. Yes, yes, there you go. Maybe I should have some as well. Is that it? Is that all you wanted? Is that it? You're eyeing up that because you know I'm going to sit up there. AI needs extensive regulation, and I'm not even sure if half the stuff we see online can even be called AI anymore. My opinion is that AI was meant to make our everyday lives easier, perhaps at your work to understand large data sets faster, or even to transform complicated concepts into easier to understand information. Unfortunately, we're now at a point of being unable to discern reality from complete fictional nonsense, and I find that extremely dangerous. Being able to replicate someone's image and voice to do and say anything you want with the right prompt is not a net positive for humanity. Art theft, labor displacement, impersonation, and political propaganda are already happening courtesy of AI right now. Biscuit, is it just going to be pictures of your bum today? It makes me question a bit how young people are going to functionally mature in a world in which you cannot discern what is and isn't factual information. And that goes so far beyond my initial experiments with this channel and AI. Bouncing ideas around to see what may or may not make a viral, enjoyable video to watch. So to take it off the main stage of dread just a little bit and back to photography, it makes me even ask, at what point is photography just a sloppy AI mathematical output? So there have been historical scandals with photographers using Photoshop to produce iconic images in order to win contests for serious cash, and then they have been exposed. Will we end up seeing so much more of this? Within photography and videography, I've always used AI as a tool to hasten what I would already be doing. That's stuff like noise reduction in an image, or to remove a few imperfections, maybe upscale an old image to be able to actually show what I'm talking about. But I've started seeing photographers use so much AI that the original image their camera captured is so far removed from what they are displaying as a photograph. And the original concept of a photograph is a drawing of light. If no light has been captured to create an image, then it's, in my opinion, just a mathematical pixel map. You can't even call it an illustration. And I don't think AI-generated mathematical pixel maps should ever be passed off as legitimate photography. For an entirely personal anecdote here, I entered a photo contest recently where the brief was people using umbrellas with visible logos, AI entries accepted. And this was my entry. Taken in Stockholm on a rainy day, my composition included my friend Miles in the centre with their umbrella, framed and illuminated by the looming and aged architecture of Sodomam Island, painting a sense of exploration and independence in the adversity of summer showers. And this is the AI-generated image that won. No, thank you. I am still bitter about it. The sun is setting a little bit. It might be time to head back to the studio shortly, and I can go through some of the images that I've taken today. Today's been very casual. I just needed to get out of the house and make myself feel something, reconnecting with nature. I mean, look at this. It's one of my favourite hikes, and it's just me and Biscuit and the wilderness of España, girls. Throughout all of today, I have had my camera in aperture priority mode, and I'm using the kit lens. So this is just a standard lens that would come with this camera. You'd buy it as a kit for however much money you can get it for, especially now that Black Friday is on. There's probably lots of deals on these little things, and I love a deal. Okay, leave the poopy alone. Thank you, Biscuit. No poopies. No poopies today. No. I've seen so many beautiful cascading shadows and cascading lights. In fact, actually, there's one just here that I have to capture. Let me show you. Look how beautiful that is. Just the way that the light and the shadow plays through the trees, framing the pathway. Not even a single piece of wind. Piece of wind? Have you smelled anything good? As soon as I press record, you go out of the light, don't you, baby? Yeah, you're not in the mood? Too many photos from mummy? Okay. Actually, just here, I have seen a perfect spot to teach you guys a little bit about perspective in photography and how important composition and framing is, especially when it comes to movement within an image. When I say movement, I mean how something might attract your eye throughout looking through an image. So this pathway going all the way throughout there to the end of, oh, don't focus on my finger, there we go, towards the end of the pathway through here. We've got sunlight coming from that direction. You can see it cascading through the woods. Actually, that's even a beautiful shot there. This side we've got darkness. And there's a little biscuit who's always somehow avoiding the illumination, aren't you? And here is where it's really important for composition. Firstly, you're going to want to align your horizon. An image at an angle is not what I want here. Secondly, I want this shot to be portrait, so that the flow of the path is accentuated by the format of the picture itself. But I do think the tree on the left is a little bit of a heavy distraction. So thirdly, I'm playing with the idea that this tree could become a supporting star for the pathway itself, but I do think there's an even better shot. Ultimately, moving my physical position slightly to the left changes the composition entirely to something that I would consider aesthetically pleasing. The distracting tree is moved way off to the side, and it joins in with the other trees to kind of step away from the main stage. And by centering the end of the light of the tree line in the distance, the winding pathway becomes the sole star of the show. Composition is one of those things that does take practice, but I do think it's the most creative part of photography. Biscuit loves coming on a walk, but he loves nothing more than heading home. Today's photo walk was really more of an opportunity for me to talk about where I'd like this channel to go, compared to where it started. And because of that, I'd like to end on this photo set. Let me know what your thoughts are about the topics that I've spoken about in this video, and feel free to hype if you've enjoyed. Subscribe if you like, it is free after all, and I will see you next time.